Okay, this is Mr. Peterson, and I'm going to be showing you how to do this long division problem number 5. This is from the note set 3.4 part A, and this is actually on page 2. All right, so what we're going to do here is divide 2x cubed minus 9x squared plus 21 by x minus 4. The first thing I'll point out here is that there's a missing column. We've got the x cubed, and we've got the x squared, and we have a constant, but we're missing the part with just x. So I'm going to supply it here, plus 0x. Okay, now the process looks at the front part of the divisor and the front part of the dividend. So what do you need to multiply the x by to make it match this one? And you would multiply x by 2x squared to make it 2x cubed. So I'll put 2x squared up there. And now you multiply that by the whole divisor out here. So 2x squared times x. And then 2x squared times negative 4. And then you subtract this from the expression above it. But as I trained you on the previous part of this video, you want to change this to adding the opposite. That should make these front ones cancel. And down here, when you add these, you get negative 1x squared, and you bring down the next term, and that's round 1. So now you, once again, look at the front, and you try to make this divisor match this one. So what do you multiply x by to make it look like that? And the answer would be minus 1x. Multiplying minus 1x times this expression, that would be minus 1x times x, which is minus 1x squared, or negative 1x squared. And this one times this one is plus 4x. The next process step is to subtract that. And as discussed again, you want to do the adding the opposite approach. It usually works better. These should cancel, and these add up to negative 4x. And you're going to bring down the next part of the problem. So plus 21 in this case. All right, once again, you got to match the front with the front. That's how you always start the sequence. So you got to figure out what to multiply x by to make it negative 4x. And that's pretty obvious. It's going to be negative 4. So negative 4 times x. We've got that matching like we were trying to do. And negative 4 times negative 4 is plus 16. And once again, we subtract this whole expression. A little bit easier to add the opposite. And you'll see that these cancel, and you get a remainder of 5. So now come up here, and it's a positive 5, so I'm going to write that, positive 5. And all along, we've been dividing by x minus 4, so that's that completes the quotient. So I'm going to circle the quotient, the answer to that division problem. Okay. This next example here is to show you that the divisor can be quadratic. We haven't had one of those yet. So the first thing we're going to do here is search that divisor for any missing terms. There aren't any. We've got an x squared and an x and a constant term. So I'm going to write 2x squared plus 1x minus 4 divided into this dividend here, 2x cubed plus 7x squared minus 1x minus 17. And you want to be careful to make sure there's no missing terms. Like up here on the previous part, we had a 0x we had to put in there. Okay? All right, so let's see where that takes us. To match this front with that front leading term, with this leading term, you have to multiply by 1x. So actually, I should put that down here. It should be in the x column. So 1x times 2x squared is 2x cubed. We succeeded. We wanted these to match. And 1x times x is 1x squared. 1x times negative 4 is negative 4x. and we'll be subtracting this expression. Add the opposite instead, and these cancel like expected. So now I have 6x squared plus 3x, and I bring down the next part of the problem. Now, ironically, this looked like it was going to be a harder problem, but it's going to be over with in a hurry. We're going to have one more term here and the remainder, and we'll be done. So how do you match this 2x squared with this 6x squared? Just multiply by 3. So 3 times 2x squared gives us what we wanted, and 3 times x comes next. And 3 times negative 4 is negative 12x. So now we're going to subtract this expression, or add the opposite is what I've suggested is a better option. In this case, these cancel, so do these, and you get negative 5 as your remainder. So you simply take that remainder up here, go minus 5, and you use that divisor again, 2x squared plus x minus 4. Okay, now I'd like to take the time to show you how to check this. And one of the things you're going to have to know is that when you type this expression here with this complicated denominator, you're going to have to put parentheses around it. So let me get this fired up here, my calculator. And what I'm going to do is store 1.23. There's nothing magical about that number, as I've repeated many times. You guys know that I just store that number as a random number. And then I'll do the original problem, which is this expression divided by that expression. So we put them in parentheses here. 2x cubed, I'm typing right here, plus 7x squared minus x minus 17, divided by this divisor, 2x squared plus x minus 4, and you can see that that gives us this long number that ends in 072. Now when I type this quotient, I should get that same result. So x plus 3 minus 5 divided by, and I'll put that expression down there in parentheses as I stated earlier, and we should get the same result, and we do. So that's our confirmation that all that work was good work. Okay, so number 7 here, and I think I'm going to continue the video on page 3 and just do this all pages 2 and 3 on one video. We're going to divide this expression by that expression. And what we're going to see here is that this divisor has a missing term in it. So we're going to go ahead and supply that plus 0x in there. And we end up with 3x squared plus 0x minus 4 divided into that longer expression right here, 6x to the 4th minus 9x cubed minus 2x squared, and I'm kind of checking 4th power, 3rd power, 2nd power as I go, plus 12x minus 2. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with the first term here. In order to get the front leading term to match the other leading term, you have to multiply by 2x squared. You put that in the x squared column. So 2x squared times 3x squared is 6x to the 4th. This one times the middle term is plus 0x cubed. This one times this one is minus 8x squared. All right, now we're going to subtract that expression. And you should change it to adding the opposite. These cancel as expected. You're adding negative 9x cubed and 0. So that's negative 9x cubed. And down here, this adds up to 6x squared, and you bring down the next part of the problem. Okay, we're going to have 2 more rounds of this. I'm going to go ahead and show you the next one. This one times negative 3x. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by all of these. And we're going to subtract this, which is the same as adding the opposite. These cancel and these cancel, so we get 6x squared plus 0x, and we're going to bring down to -2. All right, we're on the last round here before we get to our remainder. So this one, to match this one, we're simply going to multiply by 2. So let me do that. And we're going to be subtracting that expression, which is the same as adding the opposite. These cancel, and you get a remainder of 6. So now at this point, you bring that up and say positive 6 over this original expression here. You can actually leave the 0x out at this point. So it's 3x squared minus 4. And there is your complicated looking quotient. And I'm actually going to leave page 3 to the next video. So we'll pause there at the end of page 2.